Astral Odyssey contains mature themes such as raunchy jokes, intense combat, and colorful language. Everything you'd expect from a space pirate crew. Viewer discretion is advised. Then let's get started. Who would like to give a recap of what you all got done last session?
I still have an inspiration, so I shan't.
I think mine was used by someone else.
I think you gave yours to either Rin or...
It might have been
Yeah, let's
Ren.
have one of the ground people. So either Dee Dee or Aster give us a recap.
Do
Esther
you
can
have
go.
inspiration? Okay.
I don't, but
Oh.
neither of us do, so...
Last time we settled things on the scrap planet, and we had a lovely encounter with Dee Dee and Aster and Rog and all of our newest members of the crew, and Natalie and the two brothers, trying to find some scrap that they can use to either repair the ship or do various other things on the ship. And so they spent a tiny bit kind of scavenging a scrapyard. While they were doing that, they were assaulted by various robot dogs who could summon other dogs if not shocked and taking care of their alarm system. And they eventually found a lot of scrap. Rog got himself a nice new scar/tattoo. Dee Dee and Rog had a nice adventure in a magnetic claw. And other than that, it was pretty successful. And now they are back in orbit. The two ships are together. And the crew is preparing to figure out how to get out of this system.
Very good. Yeah, you can take a point of inspiration. You all took off from PAX, meeting back up with the Soleil, the crew members that had been down on the planet, loading up the Maddox brothers' ship with a bunch of scrap from all over, and have successfully docked with the Soleil just in time, as the engine that Dee Dee had modified cut out. And you are now effectively just dragging a big hunk of metal with a bunch of parts behind the Soleil. Slowing you all down a bit, but you are a very large, very top-of-the-line craft. And you all are taking off with the Marshals in hot pursuit. So it's not a... oh, they're back, everyone can relax now moment as Dee Dee and Aster, you reboard the Soleil, getting transferred over with Rog and... oh gosh, who else went over with you all? Just Rog and Bach went over with you all from the ship. But the alarms on the Soleil are going off. The engines are at about as maximum output as they can be, trying to haul all this and maintain speed and start building it up, trying to get some distance between you all and the Marshal ships that were getting extremely close by the time you all broke orbit. So we will cut back to where we left off there, with you both boarding a Soleil that has red alerts going on, some sporadic machine laser fire from the laser banks on the Soleil, shooting back at the Marshals whenever they try to get close enough, and a general call from the captain for everyone to get up to the helm, because you are going to make your final break out of the system. So with you all back, we are going to actually go to Alwyn, who is currently piloting the Soleil.
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah. We're going to have you roll an initial handling check with the spaceship, just to see how you're adjusting to the weight you're having to tow behind you.
Well, that's wonderful. You said handling?
Yeah, so this is going to be with your tool proficiency, because you have vehicles space. So I believe with those tools, I'm actually need to check. Gibby, do you know what check you do with a tool check? Is it like dexterity? Or
Depends
does it depend
on the
It depends on the
tool.
tool set, yeah.
Are we? Well, are you doing a tool or are you doing like a vehicle's proficiency?
It's he has under tools vehicles space, so he has a tool proficiency with space vehicles.
Vehicles in and of themselves are their own proficiency. They don't really use, like, using armor. It doesn't give you like a skill proficiency, right? Vehicles are just supposed to be kind of like you have proficiency in something.
We'll call it I think we've been calling it dexterity. We'll just keep calling it dex.
Yeah.
So you'd be you'd just be rolling a dexterity check with your proficiency added to it. So d20 plus 6.
All right, I'll take 21.
21's not bad. The Soleil has quite a bit of power, especially when you're not in that like kind of alternating engine, like kind of passive regeneration mode. If you're really pumping out some power out of those elemental engines, this little thing can boogie. So with the added weight, you're still putting a little bit of distance between yourself and the Marshals. They're not able to catch a good beat on you, and with some artful piloting, getting out of the atmosphere and keeping the planet between you and them, you all have a little bit of a buffer zone between yourselves and the slower Marshal ships. So it's not as immediate of danger that everyone returns back to, but they are still close and following within visual range of you all. So the captain calls for the just the upper staff of the Soleil to all meet up on the bridge so you all can talk about what's next.
Yeah, we meet up.
Aster and Dee Dee are the two that wouldn't be there currently.
Yup. I'll give directions to the crew in the hangar, like receiving us, to like just kind of start, I guess, moving stuff over, because we want. I mean, we do want basically the stuff on our ship, right? We're getting rid of Robert's brother's ship, is the plan, right?
I don't know about getting rid of. You do have one of the things from one of the piles of scrap was an engine that could repair it if you have time. So you could have it come. It is slower than the Soleil, and that is an option if you need to ditch the weight. Is try to get everything off of it onto the Soleil, but that would take a bit of work, especially when you're in motion like this.
Right. Well, I guess the instructions are just make sure everything's tied down so it's not shaken, and I guess get to combat stations, and then I guess I'll head up to the bridge.
For sure. Dee Dee?
Yeah, I mean, after checking in on everything, after getting back and making sure that all the supplies made it back okay, Dee Dee would make her way on up to the bridge as well.
Yeah, you all walk up to the bridge. You see Captain Crow just in the captain's seat, Alwyn to her left, as a couple of the monitors are showing like a rear view camera view of the two Marshal ships, and a wider kind of system map that you all have with a couple points that you've noticed. Specifically, there are a couple more Marshal ships way off in the distance, just in visual range. The only reason they are in visual range, though, is because they were headed from one of the other planets towards where you all, not through the asteroid belt. So there might be some more within the asteroid belt that you just can't spot yet. But it seems like in total there's at least 4 in pursuit that you can count, but only these 2 close to you are really a threat currently. And as you all walk in, the captain looks back and gives you all a nod, and she stands up, Kai still on her lap, and she just kind of takes one arm and sticks Kai in the middle of the air, and they just start like floating in place in the air and like still playing with whatever they're playing. And she turns and says, all right, how was that salvage trip? Hope it was worth it.
We got everything, it seems, that there was to grab. So, we should be set on supplies.
Oh, that's good to hear. We're gonna make a break for where this net's supposed to be at. Alwyn, what's our ETA to get there?
Alan looks down at his monitor and kind of does a little 2-finger shuffle. How long? How far?
About 2 hours till you'll make contact with where the net's supposed to be.
Looks like we got about 2 hours.
She nods and says, Dee Dee, you kind of look like a shit girl. Do you need a nap before you, or are you good to maybe try to work on something to punch us through that?
Dee Dee was kind of leaned forward, so her chin was resting on the conference table, and she looked up and she's like, "No, Captain, I'm all right. I'll get through it."
Doctor, can you spice our girl up a bit before she gets to work?
I can try and
terrified.
If you go ahead and if you rub Clam Trap on the back of his head and you ask real nice, he might give you a little bit of go gum.
Why would you rub Crap Trap on my head?
Not you, Dee Dee.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if I want to get hooked on your go gum.
It is good stuff. 1 or 2 ain't gonna kill you.
I can at least try and
A
give her
message
a
appears in the
quick
top
checkup
where it says the
before.
captain will remember those instructions.
I would rather not get our engineer addicted to fucking cocaine.
Dee Dee will politely decline the go gum and then nod to Hank and was like, "If you do anything wrong, I swear, Doctor."
No, your lack of confidence is understandable, but I'm a pretty good doctor sometimes.
Hank, your med bay, now that you and Vanessa have kind of spent some time working on stuff, can start assisting you with medical checks. So if a member of the crew or someone is in the medical bay, you're going to roll with advantage on any medicine check you do if you're trying to do something. But also if you're using any healing spells or lay on hands, it will amplify that. And that can have different effects depending on what you're trying to do. It could like max out the dice that you're trying to use, or just add a flat bonus to whatever you're doing, or that kind of thing. So
Okay. Well, Dee, do you want to join me in the medbay? There's some procedures I'd like to try. You're still allergic to peanut butter, right?
I would assume so. That isn't exactly something that goes away, but let's try to be fast. I'd like to get back to work so we can get out of this system as quickly as possible.
Got it. Would you like me to pick you up and start sprinting now, or do you think that
no.
you can sprint? Okay.
She got up and slowly started going towards the med bay.
Kai starts trying to follow you, and the captain like raises an eyebrow looking at Kai, then looking at you for a second. Dee Dee, like, that cool, or should I grab him?
Dee Dee kind of looked up at him and waved her hand. "Come on, let's go."
He floats over and kind of gets on your level, still floating though, and grabs one of your fingers to have you like walk with him in hand.
Aww. It's so cute.
It is adorable.
He makes a little.
Oh, they're teaching them all about different animals.
And he looks kind of like mad that you're like hurt. He's like, "Arr, arr."
I'm gonna make little grr noises back.
Sure. You make one back, and kind of like a dog learning to howl, he kind of tries to imitate you once, and then much deeper somewhere in his chest is a that kind of has the rumble of his true size like behind it, where like the metal you're standing on vibrates with the resonance of the growl, and then he kind of smiles and giggles.
So her heart definitely beating faster, but trying to keep a calm composure. Dee Dee just keeps walking and pats the top of his head and is like, "That's right. You are a ferocious thing trapped in a tiny body. Just like me, right?"
He laughs. And oh gosh, no, he's not going to do that. He doesn't know that yet. All right, that's fine.
Okay.
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Okay, you take Dee Dee to your medbay. What are you gonna do to patch our girl up?
So I did give her a little bit of lay on hands before we went up here, so I'm going to use the last little bit that I have. But I'm mostly going to be using like a lot of the actual suitors, any like onboard regeneration modules if I can find any. Because I don't have a lot of things, because it's been a very, very long day.
It has been. Give me a medicine check with advantage as Dee Dee hops up onto one of these kind of biomed tables that were originally just for plastic.
Well, the first one's a nat 20.
Hell yeah.
Let's go.
Vanessa's in there with you, and Kai is also there just kind of watching as these different like syringes with this kind of glowing green substance that's in like a little pre-done canister that is stored on the ship kind of cranes down on an arm, and as you like are highlighting different areas with a little scanner of where it should be applied, the arm moves with it and starts repairing Dee Dee's skin, removing bumps and bruises, some of the aches and pains from being trapped in that metal. You had like your knee had been messed up pretty much since you'd been caught on the magnet, so it starts trying to fix that and stuff. I'm gonna say with a nat 20.
And now that's happening, I'm just...
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm just talking to her and say, yeah, here, just you want to focus on something real quick? And then I'm going to stab her with like a tetanus shot. But let's make sure that you don't fucking contract that. So how have you been? Any interesting stories?
Dee Dee, roll a con save.
Oh, no. 15.
Okay. You don't yelp loudly whenever you are stabbed with the syringe, so Kai doesn't seem to super notice that it happens.
Oh, that's good. It's probably good for you, Hank.
So yeah, you get punched with this needle real quick, this little hypodermic needle in a little gun, and the tetanus shot goes in. I'm gonna say with that nat 20 and Hank kind of applying some of this stuff in the med bay, I'm gonna let you have the effects of a short rest.
Yay.
I never roll badly with half goblins. It's anything that's larger than you that I'm terrible with. half species. Halflings, half goblins, half elves.
I have to
Calling
roll my hit
halflings
dice, right?
half species is probably the most racist thing I've ever heard.
Be honest, I had to like do a mental double check.
You can spend your
Thanks,
hit
Numbers.
dice to do that, Dee Dee, if you'd like. So as an artificer,
I don't know.
you have 7.
Spending them is rolling them. Yep.
Yeah. So if you like hit the short rest button on D&D, you can like you see those little boxes under artificer for hit die.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can just use as many of those as you want, and you will heal 1d8 plus 1 for each of those dice that you want to use.
Do you get these back?
After a long rest, yes.
Oh, okay. So I should just go ahead and
Just
use,
go ahead and spend it,
like
yeah.
a couple. Yeah. Okay.
I've never had an excuse to not go ahead and use all your hit dice if you in a short rest.
the technicality is you only get half of your hit dice back on a long rest, but there are so many situations where you'll like not have anything happen for days, and then like a serious encounter, and then nothing for days. So it's like, yeah, why would you not use all of them? Might
That's
as well have
fair.
as much
I'll
as you
just go ahead and use them all then.
Okay, while you are rolling that, we will be back up at the bridge for a moment.
That was all my HP. Let's go.
Nice. Back
Sorry.
to full health. The captain is up there still with Aster, Alwyn, and Ash. And she looks over at you, Aster, and says, you don't happen to have a full report of what we got. Is there any way we can start moving any of it over here before we make contact with the satellite?
We can definitely start moving the smaller things, scrap metal and the like. But, of course, the larger instruments will have to wait, but it is a process. It will not be done before we have to make the cross.
She nods and says, if you could, take the lander and whoever you need from the crew, start unloading what you can. Try to bring those Maddox boys over here. Did you get anything to repair their ship? I saw it was limping by the time it caught up with us.
We found a spare engine. We found a wide variety of metal for repairs. It should be possible.
See
We
if,
found essentially everything we were looking for.
Gotcha. Well, that's good news at least. See if they can patch up that engine before we make contact. I'd like to not have a dead weight on us, if at all possible.
I will make it the priority.
She looks over at you, Ash, and says, anything you want to get ready in case we got to deal with those boys chasing us right now?
I'm not sure much of what I can do other than going around and perhaps giving a rallying speech. Getting the gunners ready and such.
She nods.
You know how it is.
It's like, yeah, I got you. I mean, we got those bikes. I didn't know if there was anything fun you wanted to do, try to throw them off, but we don't got much in the way of usable arms yet. We gotta give our girl Dee Dee a bit of time.
Yes, it is unfortunate, but I am very much a boots on the ground kind of individual. Not much use in a space battle.
Alright, well, I'll leave you in charge of defense of us and that Maddox ship, alright? In case it comes to
Understood.
boarding. Why do I... It's... Maddox is one of their names. Broderick is the name of the ship. It's owned by the Brodericks.
The Broderick brothers.
Yar.
I
Alright.
will see to raw restoration, but the rest of the boarding crew shall be ready if we need them.
She nods and then turns to Alwyn and says, alright, well, keep us on course. I don't think we have any way of losing them in open space out here, but if you see any opportunities to punch and make some more distance, take them.
Yeah, I'm just trying to keep the engines from redlining too much here. Getting used to this whole shifting back and forth with them.
That is an issue you are having to deal with almost right away. To maintain the speed that you need to stay ahead of them, you have to have all engines firing, and to gain distance between you and them, you got to start redlining them. And you have some powerful engines, and they were very well charged and everything, but you've been traveling for 2 weeks, and now you're here and been punching it quite a bit, trying to catch up to these guys. So they're going to... Right now, they're fine. Like, this is a high-performance set of engines, but it's also not meant to be towing something this heavy behind it for this long. And you're feeling it, like you're having to starting to juggle your engines to maintain at least a distance on them.
Oh, yeah, Captain, I'd say as soon as we can get the other ship to not be literal dead weight, that'd be best.
She nods and looks over at Astral and says, yeah, let's get started on that. I'm going to talk with Dee Dee, see if we can do anything, see how she's feeling. You just give me a yell if something happens, all right?
All right.
All right, Aster, you need to be off. I'm going down. And she will walk with you down.
Yup.
All right. You all have various tasks right now. The captain will come down the med bay to where you all are. How you feeling, Dee Dee?
Oh, much better, Captain. Right as rain.
Well, that's what I like to hear. Good job, Doctor. It honestly feels really good to be able to say that to you.
I know, it's such a shock to me as well.
I didn't expect that. I'd be a bit shocked to he'll say it, but she looks good. All right, come on, short stuff. We got stuff to do.
Aye, Captain.
Would you like me to keep an eye on Kai for you?
He's playing with Vanessa right now, who is distracting with she's got like lollipops for the doctor's office that Hank, I'm sure, has. Or that was probably already on board the ship. Was just lollipops that that the med bay just hands out to someone. So she's just playing with Kai right now, giving him a lollipop and a sticker.
Not well, I stand corrected.
Yeah, you two keep an eye on him for a second. Let me steal Dee Dee, and one of us will come back and grab him in a bit.
Gotcha.
She takes you to your workshop, Dee Dee, and it's kind of just looking over some of the plans for like the canisters and stuff that you used for the Verdant shot that you did from your all's like arcane rail cannon that you have at the front of the ship. And she sighs and says, "It's a long day, isn't it?"
Too long, Captain.
Yeah, let's I'm tired of this system and this overlord that has a bigger mind than the system has for him. Thinks he's a big fish in a little pond, but we don't need to be in the business here of the Larkus system any longer than we already have been. Do you have...
No, I agree, Captain.
Did you get anything from those two about what this satellite, this net system is?
A little, Captain, but they didn't seem too entirely 100% certain either. What I figure is that some kind of bubble exists. I'm not sure if it's physical. That really would be quite a feat. I imagine it's some kind of arcane energy. And the only way that I feel like you could produce something of this size is to have them go through some kind of relay stations. So we need to go out there and we need to see exactly how this field, if that's what it is being produced. And we need to try to punch a hole in it.
She nods and says, "Yeah, that sounds about right. What do we have to punch a hole through it?"
She kind of stretched and put her hands behind her head and said, "Well, we do have the front-facing cannon."
You got any other shots? How long did that take for that last one you did? Just about an hour and a half, right?
Wasn't too long, yeah. And since I've done it before, it should be even faster now.
Maybe we just load that up with something nasty.
She kind of grinned. An extra big explosion.
The captain smiles back and says, yeah, I was thinking something similar. I would kind of like to see a giant ball of blood spores or crimson spores just exploding through the middle of a satellite of that pompous dick. But gold spores might do well too. You figure out a way to get some of those off our boy back there?
She kind of thought about it and said, not entirely, but as we've discussed, Captain, he is, it is still a child, and I do think he could be easily distracted. I could just follow the moon around with a little jaw and collect some. We wouldn't really need all that much.
Yeah, it works for me. I have Asta starting to unload some of the stuff from the Broderick's ship. I'm gonna try to get them at least walking with us again, because Alan's gonna burn out the engines if we have to drag them the whole way. You confident with one of them being able to do that, or is that something you need to supervise?
She thought about it for a moment. Is there any benefit, DM, to me supervising?
I mean, you'd be able to assist with the rolls, and that might speed up the process just because you're good at this shit. You could assign, I think Jackson is your second. So
yeah.
You could assign Jackson, and he can give, effectively, he'll give the help action to Maddox, who is the more technically inclined of the two, to just help him, mount the engine and try to hot swap it while you all are on the run.
Yeah, I'm confident that he can do that. If it helps at all, I can send Boris with them. I don't know if you'll give them anything for that, but that way I can dedicate the time to building one, possibly two of these shots. That way we have it.
Sure, yeah. I can let Boris go and give them make that DC easier on them. That works.
Because I don't think I'll need him for this, especially because, like I said, I've already made them, and if I remember right, that should help also.
It does. It gets easier each time. It'll still be a time-consuming process because one of the workbenches you have is going to make that a lot easier. The ballistics workbench is going to shoot this time down quite a bit. So you can start making custom shots really quickly once that's installed. But right now, it's just kind of what you've been able to piece together to do this. So.
Right. Absolutely.
But yeah, you can.
I like the plan. Let's go for it.
Yeah. Before you leave in the lander, Aster Jackson runs up with Boris kind of following over his shoulder and boards the lander with you. Says, "Hi, Dee Dee wanted me to come along, try to help with mounting the engine. We need anyone else? Did you want someone strong?" I think Rog was still screaming about wanting to hit something.
Someone will need to put the engine in place and remove the old one. We would not go amiss with some pure muscle.
Yeah, for sure.
Rog, get in here.
Rog charges it and slaps his scar chest and winces a bit in pain and is like, "I am best boy."
Certainly have been today, but now's the chance to be a better best boy.
The betterest?
Clutches pearls.
Yeah. You, Rog, Jackson, and Boris get on the lander and go back over to the Broderick Brothers ship. Starting to get that set up as you and Anders, Broderick are starting to load stuff on. Rog and Jackson and Maddox are going to start working on this engine. So I'll roll this in front of the board. They're going to roll with advantage because Jackson is there helping Maddox, and the DC originally was 16, is going to be down to 14 because Boris is there. And Maddox has a flat +4 to this repair check, so you need a 10 or higher. Woof.
Jesus.
Clearly,
Wow.
he's rolling with some inspiration, or mayhaps a guidance.
I don't think anyone who has guidance is over on that ship right now. Do you have
I have
guidance?
guidance.
Okay.
I do
That-
have guidance.
Sure, you can
Our
guidance.
cleric.
Here, I was gonna roll. Ignore this.
7?
Ignore this. You roll your guidance. It was a 7, so you need a 3 or higher on the D4.
Okay.
What?
Hell yeah!
That's a 4.
Woo. Yeah, they start going about that process. Hot swapping it in space and pulling the other engine out requires one of them to be external from the ship, removing some of the housing and stuff like that. Maddox takes on that job just because he knows the ship best. But that leaves Jackson and Rog to try to hook up internals on a ship they're not familiar with. So it is touch and go for a bit. They will be working on that kind of right up to the wire. But they are going to successfully get it before you all get to the satellites. In the meantime, Aster, you and a bunch of other people are starting to unload stuff. Go ahead and give me a strength check.
Ooh. Let's go. Oh, That would be a nat 1 for a 0.
A nat 1 for a 0. Gosh, I really feel like I need to punish that.
I don't blame you.
You are starting to try to load some of this up. Golly, how mean do I want to be?
How could you have done this?
I mean, is it worth the inspiration?
Roll a d6 for me.
Well, it depends if we lose some of that shit off in space.
That's presumably what's gonna happen. Am I inspirationing this? Any votes here?
I probably should, question mark.
I feel like Layla has those horns growing on his head, and I am terrified for you at the moment, okay?
Okay, roll inspiration to not get a 1 here. It's a 10 instead.
A 10 instead. Go ahead and roll a d6 anyway. I just want to see what it would have been.
A 5.
So mean.
You all would have lost some of your gun emplacements.
Fun.
Wow.
Yeah. With a 10, though, it's difficult. You only have the lander that you can fill up. You can't really have it tug anything and be able to, stay up to speed with the two ships to make, trips back and forth. So you're able to get... you get, some of the scrap that was pulled from the, net on the other side of the hull. I'm going to say one of those piles of scrap is now aboard the Soleil. And I'll let you choose. You can either take the shield generator, the kitchen equipment, or the workbenches. Nothing else would be able to fit.
Let's do the shield. Can I also throw the magical items we collected in there? Would those fit? Those are handheld, right?
I think DD has those on her.
Okay. But that's fine. We'll go with the shield then.
Oh, DD, you still have those on you, by the way. I don't believe you've checked them out yet.
I don't think so either. We were prioritizing.
Yeah. Just so you know, like, what you have on you, you have two kind of gauntlets that seem to be made of, like, silvery metal. One of them has, like, almost like dragon scale ridges with, like, a bowl kind of embossed on, like, the where the back of the hand is, with a set of, like, 5 kind of softly blue glowing gems. The other one is a bit more sleek of a gauntlet. It doesn't have those dragon ridge scales. It has a like a purple diamond set in like where the arm guard is on the forearm, and the other one is a kind of bound up scroll inside of a really ornate case.
Okay. Scroll in a really ornate case.
So just let you know what you are carrying on you right now. Which one did you say you were wanting to take? Sorry. Oh yeah, she has the magical art. The shield. Okay. So you have 1 pile of scrap and the shield generator that you're able to move over during this time. Before I'm gonna say that all this happens in like an hour and a half, as you all are traveling. So. As you all are traveling, Alwyn, you start to get pings on the kind of long-range radar of the ship. They're pretty small objects. You see, like, one roughly out here, and then a kind of in a bubble around you all, kind of extending up and down in space on either side. You have, like, a couple up here going around. They seem like pretty fairly spaced. There is a smaller, almost like... Yeah.
Real quick, are you making things on the map? I don't see it, sorry.
I am. You might need to zoom out a bit.
It's over, like, here.
Yeah, I don't see anything anybody's doing on the map.
You might need to quit and load back in then. But,
sorry.
Yeah, you're good. Effectively, like 200 feet away from you in about any direction, extending up and down in space in front of you, are these kind of evenly spaced out, like small, almost like satellite station. And then over to the northeast of where the ship is, about 250 feet away, is a smaller asteroid that also seems to be in formation, oddly enough.
All right, so there's effectively a bubble around us.
Kind of, yeah, it's extending, like, it's a bubble around the system, not like just in front of you, but like extending up in space, like, you know, just a 3-dimensional sphere on the outskirts of this system. And do you see stuff on the map now?
Oh wow, it's way over there. Oh shit, okay, that's where we were. Fuck, I'm sitting over there closer to the sun. Ah!
You all are way over here, towards the edge of the system. So, like, there's some of these out here, and one up here, like, up in the air, and then a, like, small asteroid over there.
Yeah, I see the asteroid. Okay.
But that's what's in front of you immediately that your scanner's at. There's probably more of it just, like, out of sight. You also see that the Marshal ships are showing up now on radar. There's this one to the very far southwest, and then these two to the north.
Alright, so there's no Marshals directly ahead of us just then, right?
No, none directly ahead of you all. There's these two that are right behind you, pretty hot on your tail, but as long as you are keeping a pretty straight path, they shouldn't be able to catch up to you. But if you're having to deviate anywhere, it might be a problem.
Yeah, gonna try and keep straight, though we're gonna favor just a hair more so to the south. Just to keep a straight line.
Sure. The captain will come up and join you after being down there with Dee Dee and just kind of take a look at this map. And she just checks it out a bit and it seems to be thinking to herself and kind of double taps on that asteroid, pulling up what little information you have on it, it seems like there is like it's less of an asteroid and more of just a base that has been built into a hollowed out chunk of rock, effectively. That seems to be in a stationary orbit. And she kind of hums a bit to herself and says, does that look like a power relay station to you?
Well, it's a little fish to be out here by its lonesome. It don't look like no hunk of rock I've seen.
She kind of taps the map back where you all had originally entered the system, which is all the way to the south, and points that there was another asteroid way out there that you all had marked just in passing, but hadn't really given it much thought. It was just a stray asteroid. But she says, that one's spaced about right, too, for them to be in a ring with each other.
What, you thinking these are the little relays for their net they've got out their head?
Maybe. We just don't know enough about this thing. What do you think? Would it be better to try to punch through where one of those satellites are floating, or go for one of the stations?
Well, what's our distance to this asteroid?
It is a bit further out of the way. The asteroid over here, if you're on a straight path, you aren't hitting directly where one of the satellites are. You're kind of skirting between them, for better or worse. But you would have to deviate, either like moving up in three-dimensional space to get to one, or moving pretty drastically south or north, depending on if you want to go towards one of the satellites or the relay. Or the asteroid.
If, I mean, maybe if Dee Dee's got a big enough, dump to her charge, maybe we could do a ding on that asteroid.
Yeah, that'd probably piss them off more, wouldn't it?
I'm all about getting them pissy.
Alright. Adjust course. Let's see if we can skirt around where those other two marshals are and make our way towards that asteroid.
Alright, I'll use it that way. How much longer are we gonna be toting people?
She sighs and says, they've not even gotten back with the first load yet. They're moving kind of slow over there. Hopefully that means they're gonna have that engine working, though.
Right. Yeah, I just asked because I'm about to start my 5th cigarette, and we haven't really stopped, and I'm about out of this pack, and I'm having to just watch my needle thread back and forth between these two engines while I'm clenching my ass cheeks.
You saying you don't like the pressure? Come on, Alan.
I've got 3 diamonds working back there right now.
She kind of pats you on the shoulders and says, get some of that pickup gum, then.
Yeah, you just want some. I know what you want.
She smirks and says, I am not that obvious. How dare you?
Yeah.
You all are interrupted as all radio points broadcast goes out in the system. And she says, oh, it's him again. All right, this is gonna be funny. Let's see what he's got. And she hits it on the view screen, like enabling the link to be able to hear the message. And the same very overweight with the large mutton chops balding on top, like gray hair, beet red face just full of like piss and vinegar, and just clearly angry, broadcasting from what looks like a captain's chair on a ship. Comes over and says, to the vandals and thieves that have been to the planet Pax, we know who you are now. Worldwares is gonna pay handsomely when we bring them your all's corpses. We're coming for you. And they cut off the communications, and she laughs and says, oh yeah, that's gonna be fun.
Did it look like he was on a ship?
It did, didn't it?
You know, them intrusive thoughts sometimes work their way in.
I mean, every other ship's been a piece of shit we've seen so far. I'm sure he's not got anything too big up his sleeve, right?
I don't know. These small sector little tyrants, they tend to keep the good shit for themselves of what they do have. And if we had like some nice kick-ass cannons already installed, I'd say go for it.
Yeah, hopefully soon. We need a long enough break to install something like that, though. As you all are kind of talking and just bullshitting, though, you see a new signal appear on your all's long-range scanners. Approaching very quickly is a looks like a very large capital ship on a beeline towards your all's position, actively gaining on you.
Oh, there's Tibby. I'd bet my last cig on it.
Yeah, you are down to one now. Hey, you got one I can bum?
We can share this one, but damn it, I'm.
She waves a hand and puts on the rear view screen. It is a mean-looking ship, very Victorian style with a lot of sharp architecture and kind of rounded bases and stuff like that. A lot of just over the top gaudy crinolling along different decks of the ship and everything, but battleship cannons line the top of the boat with a couple larger cannons on the underside of it, and a set of engines that look a bit too large for it, kind of powering it forward. Extremely phallic shaped ship as well, and she just laughs. Yeah, he's definitely overcompensating for something.
Well, I had him pegged from the first go, you know. Oh well. Also, DM, is that a Warhammer 40k frigate behind us?
Not as gothic. Think Warhammer 40k if it was set in Victorian era South.
Okay.
It more less looks like a temple, more like a plantation house.
God. Okay.
But with a lot of cannons on it. But is actively gaining on you, and she says, "Oh shit, hold on." And she starts putting in some trying to judge its trajectory and trying to do some math real quick. She goes, "That thing looks like it could catch us before we get to that satellite, if we're dragging this thing behind us."
That is a problem. We don't have any boys and or ladies who are good on the bikes, do we?
Let's see. Astor tried it, nearly died. Hank tried it, nearly died. Ash tried it, nearly died. You got captured last time you used one.
That is not my fault.
She raises an eyebrow. She's like, yeah, sure. Gorbear and Bach are our two scouts. Bach looked pretty beat up, but I think he'd be okay. But they've not had too much time on him either, honestly.
All right, so that's a no-go for the interference. Fuck, we don't have any. We don't have any leave behind presence. We ain't got shit. Oh man.
We have a forward-facing, stationary railgun cannon and small arms fire.
Yeah, we don't. Fuck, we ain't got no scramble chaff. No. Oh man, this is when I kind of miss one of the few times I miss being part of a proper operation for Outlawing. You know.
She smacks the back of your head. I am a proper pirate captain.
Ow. Ow. Yeah, we're just not set up proper just yet. I understand.
We're trying, but for some reason we keep getting in trouble with Marshals, Alwyn.
You know, These things happen when you're not properly set up.
Is that the problem? She says, all right, I'm going to see if I can get Ash and Dee maybe working on something for this. Maybe we can come up with something quick, but you just keep those marshals on the side from getting too close to us. We're going to, if we have to deal with any of them, let's try to deal with that one on its own.
Right. Yeah, I'm gonna try and keep a course, but we may only get like a quick shot, a long shot at that satellite if they go gunning, if they see where we're going.
Yep, we're going to see what we can do. And she leaves the bridge to go and find you, Ash. And she kind of relays the situation to you that 4 Marshal ships are close, but you all are keeping ahead of them for now. If the Broderick ships it doesn't start carrying its own weight, that's going to change. But the capital ship of Davith is catching up quick. And she says, I don't know if any of your boys know how to pilot those little bikes well, but you and Dee Dee, if you could come up with something that could slow them down, that'd be great.
Oh, let me see. What do I have here? I have not much, admittedly. I do, however, have perhaps a chance of giving someone who is less useful on a bike a second chance.
Yeah, who would that be?
Not a who, but rather what. The ability to cling to any surface like a spider.
You really want to use Spider Climb, don't you?
You know, it's an incredibly useful spell considering we are in a place that has very little terrain. So, sticking to what is there is very important.
That's true. So we can make sure someone at least doesn't get thrown off the back. Now we gotta have something that they can use to help us out. Think you can do some brainstorming with our plucky little engineer?
I can try something. My other gamble, shall we say, is, well, it's very simple, really. It's figuring out how to take a fireball and shoot it at them.
She, waits for a second to see if there's anything more to that plan, and then she nods and says, yeah, all right, well, good luck.
Well, very simply, Captain, our engine is a fire elemental. If there is something I can do to it, or using it, I will see what I can do. I've taken a look at it before, but nothing more than a glance. Perhaps I might be able to... well, I'd have to talk to with Dee Dee, but if there's any possibility of overcharging our engines and perhaps giving Elwyn more freedom in his maneuvering, then maybe that might help.
Let's, gosh, that sounds an awful lot like a good way to blow up our engines. Let's leave that as a last resort and see if we can do something to hurt them instead of enhance us first.
Sure.
Alright, and the captain will leave you to that.
Rog, before I go and talk with Dee Dee, I must know.
He is currently on the
What do you
ship,
think?
helping them mount the engine, remember?
Oh, then I'll look at it.
No?
Rog is.
Rog, yeah, Rog. I was just turning to a random one of my boys, my boarding crew. I'll turn to Dimitri and say, Dimitri, before I go and have a talk with Dee Dee, tell me what you think of this name. I've been coming up with ideas for different personas if I ever needed to disguise myself more. What do you think of this name? And he'll just kind of show a little scribbled note. And one of the names that's currently written on there is Disaster.
He looks at it and then looks at you and then looks at his. And is this a wrestling name or what are you doing with it?
No, so the idea is, and he'll just quickly disguise himself, and he's like this kind of rather short and stoutly, even for a dwarf, but like this maybe 3.5 foot tall dwarf who like has untied shoes, and has like a beard that's clearly like uncombed and misshapen, and like his hands are kind of like timidly over themselves, like, oh god, oh gosh, it's just me, I'm just so clumsy and so, oh jeez, oh no one ever pays attention to me, so I might just sneak around, and oh no, I tripped and caused a real mess of the place. And this guy's dropped and he says something to be inconspicuous. I have other ideas. I'll workshop it.
He takes a step back and tilts his head. Is like, knowing you so well, it feels incredibly out of character. But I mean, that's the point, right?
That is, in fact, the point. A disguise is to take on a new role, a new soul. But there'll be time for that later. Your feedback here was more than enough. If you need anything, you use the stone. It will speak with the captain, who is on the bridge, should you need to in emergencies. I'm going to find a way to be useful in this galactic size fight.
Yeah, you need me to do anything in particular?
Don't die.
On it.
And don't engage in any borders unless there are more than 3 of you.
He nods. Says, "Yeah, I'll get everyone together. Are we expecting borders? Is that what's going on?"
Worst case scenario.
Gotcha.
If our guns get destroyed, their main ship, is faster than us currently. If we can't find a way to fix that, then they will be boarding us. Likely. So it's best to have a plan just in case.
Yeah, gotcha. If you need me for anything else, let me know.
Ash will then go and try to find Dee Dee to hatch a scheme.
Yeah, you've been about better part of 45 minutes into work, Dee Dee, at this point. So go ahead and give me your first roll to make some of this ammunition. You're going to use your tinker tools. So this is going to be your intelligence plus proficiency. So a d20 plus 7.
Okay. Plus 7 equals a 24.
24, nice. Yeah, within that 45 minutes, you are putting... What kind of shot are you wanting to put together?
Well, the captain wanted a big explosion, so Dee Dee was going to go ahead and put in the gold spores.
Sure. So, are you trying to distract Kai to get some gold spores off his little golden moon that's orbiting his head?
Yeah, so, like, we know that, like, you don't need very many of these things to make a massive explosion, right? So, Dee Dee's just kind of having, you said he was with, Venna, right? That's who's distracting him?
Yeah.
Yeah, so she figures, she'd have Venna, like, do a lot of wild hand gestures and keep him super engaged and distracted and While the little gold moon is back there, Dee Dee's just going to be back there with one of her little aluminum containers and kind of follow it around out of Kai's field of view
Sure.
and just collect what she needs.
So just for perspective of amounts of spores you're working for different shots. You know, you have your bullet spore shots, which are using like a teaspoon roughly of spores to get that done. Then you have your cannonball size shots, which are using about a cup. The shots that you're able to prepare for this rail cannon are like about a gallon that you're able to use. So pretty significant amount can be loaded into these shots. You don't have to, you can underload the shot, but it's a pretty concentrated amount that you can load in there to make the effect you're wanting to.
Yeah.
So
Blowing up an asteroid. Yeah.
So are you wanting to try to get that full gallon load of spores?
Yeah, if we need them, we need them.
All right. We're going to go ahead and call that a... let's do a persuasion check. You can do this with advantage, though, because it's with Kai.
Nice. Okay. Oh, much better. Thank God for advantage. That's a 19.
19, absolutely.
Yeah, the first one was a 6, so I was really sad.
Vinna is playing with Kai, and you go in there and try to just pick one of his moons, and he instantly notices whenever you touch one of them and looks over at you, just kind of curiously, like tilting his head, and sees as you just kind of hold it over this like large glass cylinder that you use to like load up the shot. And as you start to do that, he like crawls through the air over to it and just kind of like taps the glass and like holds it on either side, just like looking at them, kind of just studying them. Like it's almost like a moment of consciousness that he doesn't normally show, as he kind of observes what you're doing but doesn't seem to stop you or anything, just watches. But you get your full gallon worth of golden spores and go back to your workshop, and you are doing the technical part of it now, where you are like actually metal working the casing for it to be able to fit into this, and you're like jury rigged kind of set up to have this work with these different shots in this weird way. And it's while you're doing some of this metal working, just kind of the tedious part of it, not the like mentally engaging part, when Ash comes in and finds you.
Hello, Dee Dee.
Oi, Ash, what do you need?
Anything. Everything.
You
You know
and
what?
everyone else.
Yes, I'm sure. You know, I hate the anticipation. It's so definitively unfulfilling. And what's more, I hate it when I cannot act. The anticipation of nothing. I need to do something about what's happening. And unlike others who move about parts and work on engines, I do not have a task, yet I know I have something to contribute. Can you help me find something, some way to give our friends behind us a little push back towards their home?
Well, we overshot their engines once before. It took a lot, but there's no reason why we can't give them a nudge in the right direction, I suppose.
I was thinking the captain said it was the last resort, and you'll probably agree. But interfacing with the elemental in our engine, give it a little push, a little nudge, a little power. But I'm also hoping to use my evocative powers to maybe blow something up. Use perhaps one of those bikes we have.
I mean, I don't see why not, Ash, but did the captain approve of this?
She thinks it would be best if I were to brew something up with you. From the sounds of it, the ship with the fat man. It is approaching faster and faster, and is quickly outpacing us. Even if we got the brothers' ship in full operation, it would likely outmaneuver and outspeed us before we hit the satellite. So we will need to do something.
If you're confident, then it'll work, Ash. Just don't leave us dead in the water.
Do you happen to have anything that requires close proximity? I know we worked on mines when we were still on Lumar. Is there perhaps some surprise we can leave for them? Or is that already something you're working on?
For anyone tailing us?
Yes.
DM, how much time do we, do I have time to do what I'm working on plus that?
You've finished the first shot, and you are about an hour away from engagement range with the asteroid. So you could spend that time to make another shot, but that would be most of the rest of your time to make that other shot. So it's kind of one or the other. You can either do some countermeasures behind you with Ash, or you could give him some instructions and schematics you have, let him try to put something together, and you get a second shot, so it's not all down to whether or not a single shot hits, but you all are pretty consistent about hitting those shots when you need to, so it's up to you two how you want to handle that. But you have about an hour left, and it takes about 45 minutes to make one of the shots.
I mean, I feel like this is a crew decision then. This can't just be on me. What y'all want me to do? Do we want that second shot, or do we want to have countermeasures? Because we do have cannons that, I imagine there's one that is at least facing the back now. That's why I requested so many.
Nope. We haven't had time to install all those cannons.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're still on the Broderick's ship, tied up in cargo.
I think it is a you decision. We're not there.
It's you and Ash, yeah. it's what you two decide you want to do.
I mean, I get that y'all aren't there, but, it still affects everybody. Do we want that second shot or not?
Neither decision is wrong.
How's this, DD? On your professional opinion, do you think I would be able to, put simply, heal the engines if they were to get damaged?
Well, for the casing, it would just need to be, a mending spell. For the elementals themselves, if they flame out, if you will, I imagine you would have to go in and give them a boost, as you said. But there's no reason we can't put mending on them, as we did the Crow's song. It would just all take some time.
I think then I see my path. Work on that second shot. I will keep monitoring and make sure that if I am needed here, I will help with the engines. But if they try to board us, if that fails, then that is where I will be.
She nodded. Understood. Holler if you need help. If I can't come, I'll send Jackson.
I shall.
Jackson's on the other ship.
He is, JK.
I will get someone else. Dimitri and Boy are both here. They're quick runners, as they were taught to be. I shall see you soon.
Good luck, Ash.
So the plan right now is for Dee Dee to make a second shot, and you all are not going to be preparing any countermeasures behind you, correct?
Correct.
Okay. With that being the case, we will progress forward a little bit more as the Broderick's brother ship gets its engine online, and Maddox runs up to the helm and activates all the engines, and they all purr to life, and some of the load of the Soleil is lifted. Alwyn, you notice immediately as the ship lurches forward as some thrust is given by the Broderick Brothers ship, and you all start to move a bit faster. You can start moving the engines back down out of the red line now, but the capital ship would continue to gain on you. If you continue to redline it, you might be able to match it at speed, but you're not sure how long the elemental engines will hold out with that much being drawn from them.
So even though we're keeping out of the red line, we don't have as much drag on us though. It's just that's a different kind of strain. How close are we getting to this
You're
satellite?
about
the asteroid?
45 minutes away from it, so it is getting larger on scanners and everything. Like, you can actually see it visibly now out the forward window. If you're not redlining, you're still probably going to get caught by the capital ship before you get there, though.
You know, I feel like I need to save the engines for what's to come. So I'm just gonna peel them down just to give them a little breather after all of that. Just so we're kind of keeping a little faster than the pace we were at, but not in the red line. Does that make sense?
Yeah, sure.
And then is the captain back up with me, or is she still making rounds?
No, she's back up with you now.
All right, Crow. That got us some breathing room, but if my looking is anything on the scanner, we're still gonna get caught before we get up there.
She nods, having just studying the map with you, and says, "Yeah, I'm kind of piecing that together too. Broderick's are flying as fast as they can. They're going to get caught by the Marshals if they're flying on their own, though."
Right. So what was the whole deal? What did we have countermeasures, or what did Dee Dee give us?
She shakes her head, says, "Nah, Ash reported a minute ago that they're making a second charge right now, in case we miss the first one. I guess we could use it to wheel around and try to take a pot shot at the capital ship if we need to, but we gotta be forward facing to do it, and there's a lot of Marshals between us and it right now."
Yeah, but we're in 0G. We could do a whip around. God, but we still got the Marshals. Yeah, this is a pickle. This is.
Yeah, and
this is not.
We're kind of just hoping that destroying that asteroid thing's going to take out the network before it fires on us, whatever it is. She thinks for a second and says, "Does that asteroid look manned to you?"
Alan's gonna kind of lean forward and try and like blow the screen up, like zoom in.
Yeah, give me an investigation check.
Enhance. Enhance. More. More. Oof. You said investigation?
Yeah, Captain will give you the help action.
Okay, that's good because that was a 3 on the dice. What? Investigation. It's still gonna be a fucking 10. Oh, actually, it's gonna be 11 because I'm a jack.
Sure. An 11. Hard to tell. It's big enough to be manned. So it might be, but you also don't see any like ships anywhere. They might be in a hangar, but you don't see anything for like a guard to rotate out necessarily. It's kind of just a maybe.
Yeah, it could also be one of those things though, where there's just like every month there's a shift change or something with these problem things. Alan kind of tosses his head back and forth and scratches underneath his hat. I mean, it could be. Why? What would change about it being manned or not?
If it were, I'd assume it has firing controls for those satellites.
What do you think? Somebody get on there and hack the system to attack the marshals behind us?
She shrugs a bit and says, I mean, I don't see how we outrun that capital ship regardless. We either sacrifice the Broderick ship and all that salvage we fucking came here for and let them have it and just scrape away, or we find a way to destroy that capital ship without getting too engaged with the Marshals. Or...
Okay.
Yeah, we turn this net against them.
You know, that's not a horrible idea. So maybe we do this in a 2-prong. Maybe, because I know Ash and Asher, especially after he took a tumble out there in the space dust, maybe they would get some people on the bikes, and I go ahead and floor it around there, get them close enough to that satellite or that asteroid so they could slip in on the bikes.
I don't think we can pass without they'd have to go ahead of us and hopefully get control of it before we pass it. If we wait until we're there, that net's going to be on us already.
Alright, so we get them a little closer before wheeling around, and then at least we got 2 shots of something heavy to shoot back at some of the Marshal ship or that capital ship.
She shrugs. This is all assuming it's not some automated system. We wouldn't be better off just exploding it.
Well, even if it is a relay, you can still tap into it. Change the friendly. There's got to be an IFF on there.
She nods and says, "Yeah, I mean, it marked us whenever we got in, so you'd assume it's got something identifying what's out there."
Yeah, but well, it's got to be having a friendly an IFF to mark friend from foe. So if we just do a switch around, mark the Marshals as foe, even if it is automated, we should be able to do something like that. Dee smart. She knows computers.
We have that girl doing too much. I need to give her a raise. Don't tell her I said that.
I think she just wants a vacation.
Yeah, maybe I'll just give her like a float take session or something. I've heard those are nice.
There's a little squeal through the floorboards. I'm getting a raise?
God damn it.
Yeah, yeah, we'll give her some bigger boots, a whole half an inch off the ground. That'll raise her up a little bit, right?
You son of a bitch.
She says, it's worth a pitch anyway. She'll do a call to Ash, Hank, and Dee Dee if you all have a moment to discuss something really quick. And you all kind of just run up there from the various places, and she lays this out really quickly. Well, it's not like a full, you have to stop your task. It's just a quick 5-minute conversation as you run up to the command bridge, and she points out the little satellite that you all are headed to, and gives a nod and says, Aloe and I were thinking about if we could maybe land a small little task force onto that satellite and maybe point the net back at them. Dee Dee, is that something that's possible, you think, before we go any further with this plan?
Well, any system is hackable, Captain. It's certainly possible, but we'd have to get there.
Well, the bikes are faster in a short distance. They don't last for forever. They don't got a big battery on them, but you'd be able to dart ahead of us and get there before us. The trick would be how close we can get before we have to divert out of the way. Ash, I know you're absolutely itching for a fight, so that's why I figured you'd want to know about it. And Doctor, I know you and that big axe there like to get all in close and personal, so...
No, that's true. I'm only really good within 60 feet.
Yeah.
It was just an idea we were floating around. Dee Dee, you want to take a look at that asteroid real quick? We're getting pretty close to it. Give me your own investigation check on the asteroid real quick.
Can I give Dee Dee guidance?
You can.
You have an extra 1d4.
Wow.
Wow.
Sure. So 3, so 14, plus 4, so 19.
19, not bad. You take a look at it a bit closer. It's nothing you've really seen before, but the premise behind it is pretty standard from other things. I mean, there's been like outposts and stuff that you've been to that consist of just a big rock that has been hollowed out with a little power relay station in it. It probably is manned. You would assume. You don't see any like docking for any like large ships or anything. There is like an airlock tube on a part of the asteroid that you can spot. Just like zooming in and checking like a part of the rock face, the edifice of it that you can tell is where like a little airlock space is. Judging by the size of it and what they're doing, you would imagine it's no more than like, 5 to 10 people maybe. It's not like a big station, probably not like heavily armed. It does seem like it has some like small anti-aircraft like cannons on it for like fighter defense, but the bikes are tiny and have very little in way of like energy signature. It's mostly like a visual thing that would get you all spotted on a bike.
So, I mean, after noticing that and thinking about it, Dee Dee kind of paused and said, "Well, Captain, if it's something we want to try, I'd be willing to try it, but I would, a couple people would have to come with me, at least 1 or 2. There can't be more than a small crew on board that thing, if there is one.
Well, you're looking at 3 people here, Dee Dee.
Or, if one of you can make me invisible, I can just go."
I am hesitant to have just you all by yourself in case there's something there we don't know about.
I will go with you.
We got 3 bikes and 2 people can fit on each bike, so y'all can have 6 go, but that also raises the chances of being spotted, so...
No, that feels like a lot.
Well, I can make 2 of us invisible. Efficiently speaking, if it were just me and Dee Dee, The two of us could go on one bike, and I can keep the both of us invisible for up to 2 hours.
Then I guess if you take the sending stone with you, if you need backup, you can radio back to the ship, and I can head down there with Asta.
Yes, I will have to go and fetch it again from Dimitri, but it will not take me long.
All right, we're gonna try to get you all a little bit closer to it. I'm worried about those. I'm worried about those bikes if you go too far out on your own. I'd like to at least provide some cover and fire if you end up needing it. Worst case scenario, we want to be able to blow it up if something goes wrong. So we'll probably wait until we're about 15 minutes out. So you all got about a hot 15 to get everything set up and get on those bikes. And she'll like calm over to the Broderick ship and fill you in on this plane as well, Aster, to see if you had anything you wanted to add to it before they split.
Not particularly.
Okay then. The captain nods and says, "All right, Dee Dee, if you can, finish up that second shot before you take off. Ash, you're going with our girl, right?"
Yes.
All right. We'll let you know when we're clear. And she looks over at the comm for you, Aster.
One thing I would be like, the engine is obviously installed now. If Ash wishes to have Rock back, I can send him back sooner.
She says, actually, that's not... Move everyone that can move on over to the Soleil. If absolute worst case scenario happens and we have to cut that ship, I don't want to have to make a quick trip to grab somebody. So if you can,
someone needs to stay on to.
Yeah, I figured Anders or Maddox would probably stick with their ship, and both of them who are in the cockpit with you right now. Aster goes, yeah, we're gonna be staying here kind of regardless. But we can keep up. We got a escape pod to meet with you if we need it. And Maddox goes, "Oh, jinkies!"
It's Zimbabwe school.
He goes, "Yeah, we'll make sure we don't weigh you down too much back here."
I will start the personnel transfer then.
Okay, everyone breaks from there then. Dee Dee, I assume you go and finish off is the second shot also a gold?
Yes.
Okay. So 2 gold shots for the rail cannon. Everyone moves back over to the Soleil, except for Anders and Maddox aboard their ship. And you all get within 15 minutes of this asteroid.
While that happens, can I toss to Ash one of the potions that I had made way back when in Numar when we were planning on jailbreaking the captain? One of the diluted hill giant strength potions?
Sure.
What is this?
Well, back when we were breaking up the captain, I made some backup potions, mostly for the crew, but it's a quick burst of strength if you need it. It's not as good as the real thing, but it's good enough for our uses.
I don't know.
Rather you at least have it.
I don't know how I'm supposed to use this, but I'll figure it out.
Better to have it and not need it than not have it but need it.
Right.
All right.
Alan's gonna go ahead and get himself a bit of go gum from Time Trap.
Sure. you have the haste effect. I think it's for the next like hour, right?
No, it's for the next like 6 hours or something
Oh.
like that.
That's right. Give me a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, Jesus. Not this again.
It's just if I get like hooked on it. Where's that D20? Brum, brum, bum, 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 bum. It's wisdom, yeah. Well, I already have a fucking okay, so it's a 3 to a 1, okay?
3 to the 1.
God, you miss this fucking feeling, Alwyn. Like, everything felt grayscale before this moment since the last time you had taken this gum, and, like, it just feels like there's that pleasant tingling in your gums. You, like, wake up, your pupils dilate, like, you get to full alertness, you start, like, feeling the ship in your hands as you're steering it. You feel the, like, pulsing of the engines, the thrill of the chase just beating through your heart, like... this is the good stuff. You are going to take this again whenever this effect ends.
Alright.
Okay. Otherwise, Dee Dee and Ash.
Can Siren please read that out loud?
What? Okay, I can read that. The 3 to the 1 to the 1 to the 3. Alvin addicted to the cocaine tree.
Hell yeah.
I'm sorry. Anyway, please continue.
Wow.
Take a point of inspiration for that, Hank.
Appreciate it.
All right.
Wow.
Dee Dee and Ash, the captain gives the signal, lighting up the hold green, as Alwyn does a quick maneuver to position the ship where the Broderick ship is blocking sight of your all's hangar bay, so you all can exit the ship without being spotted by the capital ship, which is getting dangerously close. Not quite within gun range yet, but will be very soon, and still actively gaining on you. And you all are cleared to leave the shuttle bay on the bike. Who is driving?
Yeah,
I have no practice on this thing, so probably not me.
probably me in that case. I think as we're leaving, Ash is going to disguise self, kind of looking at Dee Dee and say, I'm looking and open to all criticism, but please meet Paige Turner. And you see this kind of dark brownish, kind of pale-looking human woman. She's got glasses on, and she kind of looks a bit like a secretary and kind of pushes them up and says, So, shall we?
Dee Dee blinked a couple of times and said, You know, Ash, your disguises are actually getting rather good. You're almost believable, but, you know, a dead giveaway is all your names are puns.
She just kind of tosses her nose up in the air and says, Well, that just shows that I'm a cultured. Let us be
Or
all...
easily amused. Anyway,
And we go.
Oh yeah? The bike goes
motorcycle
burr.
noises, yeah.
Yeah, that's the sound of the engine starting. You do not have a proficiency with this. We're going to call it a flat dexterity check for you, Ash.
Okay. That's a nat 20, baby. Let's fucking
Holy
go.
shit.
Oh god, I
You-
thought you were gonna eat it like Aster.
We needed that to happen. Good job, bud.
You did, because I'm counting that for the entire trip and approach to the asteroid. So
Hell yeah.
you kick the bike on, and it activates a trail of bright blue, just like almost like a gosh, what are the light bikes from Tron? Like it has like that kind of trail behind it out the back of it, and you kick the bike on and it shoots out. You get right in the shadow of the Soleil, dip beneath it, and ride just kind of turning slowly, so like the wheels of where the bike is moving along the bottom of the Soleil, and you shoot out the front of the ship, staying in the blind spot of all those other ships where the Soleil is blocking you as you make your way towards the asteroid. You both start turning and moving down through space. Ash, this feels like you are a comet flying through space. This is a natural state of being for you, just energy in motion, and you steer like it. It's like a leaf on the wind as you turn and just trail and bend and move in ways that completely elude anyone who would be trying to look for you. Keep a sharp angle on the asteroid base, making sure your light trail isn't spotted by anyone as you reposition and readjust yourself with quick little turns and spin maneuvers. Dee Dee, you have to cling onto Ash for dear life as they are rocketing at full speed on this bike. But very, very quickly, you all approach where the hatch is on the asteroid. We will not be moving to a battle map for this, because I want to get you all the fuck out of this system. So this will be theater of the mind, this little assault on the asteroid base here. But there is a small airlock that you all approach, and the bike slows down, and then Ash kicks off the engine. You all successfully having approached stealthily, not being spotted and not activating AA guns. You look back behind you to out into open space of the Astral Ocean. You see the Soleil flying towards you at full speed with the massive capital ship moving quickly up behind your all's vessel, and a small fleet of Marshal ships surrounding it from all other sides. The little Soleil seeming dwarfed by the amount of enemies after her, and you all know you have to move quickly. So how are you getting in?
Do you think you can work your way in through this hatch?
Absolutely.
All right. As soon as it's open, stay close to me.
Is this just like a normal hatch? Like I can just crank it up and go in?
It does seem like it is a arcane circuitry wired hatch. So you might be able to kind of cross some wires and stuff, like hot wire the door open effectively. You would probably
exactly what I was seeing.
You would probably know it's more than likely under pressure right now, though. So I'll say there are 2 levels to this check you're going to do. This I will let it be a. This actually works for a thieves' tool. I think you have like a little code breaker module that you carry, like a little screen that you can use to like interface with systems, and that will be part of your thieves' toolkit. So I'll let this be an intelligence plus proficiency modifier, which means you get a +7.
Nice.
The levels of this are, if you get a 15, you are able to open it, but it will vent its current atmo. If you're able to get to a 20, you can vent atmo first and then open it. And if you get above a 23, you are able to deactivate any system alerts that any of that's happening.
Okay.
You have guidance.
Go ahead and roll guidance first, so that way we know what you're trying to hit on the dice.
D4. Let's go.
I got a 4 on that D4.
Let's
Oh, yeah.
fucking go.
So you have a +11 to this, which means if you're wanting to deactivate the system and not have anyone spot you, it's a 12 or above.
Pretty good odds.
Come on, D20. You can do it. You can do it. That's a 16 on the dice. Let's go.
Let's fucking go. Just like old times.
That's a 27.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. 27, you get to work your, what is the little handheld thieves tool device kit that you have called?
I mean, I imagine it looks like the same little data pad that I've been using for Boris. Like, it's just a screen I pull out of my pack, and I can, like, pull a little cable out of it and plug it in and type some shit in, and might have to reach up and finagle a wire here and there and cross
Sure.
this there and try again. And
It's called the Steals a Lot 3000. this little this little module that you have that you pull out and connect a couple wires to. Ash, you look back and you see Dee Dee in her element, tapping on this screen, interfacing with different parts of this terminal. With a 27, Dee Dee, you not only deactivate any system alerts that would be sent out from this airlock that it is currently venting or being opened, so they will not know that you are entering the base. You are able to get it open, fully vented and everything, so you all can get back in. You can also repressurize it without being noticed and open the door to be able to get into the base without having to make any other checks as well. So you can go through the full process of getting in without any alarms or alerts being thrown.
Yeah, let's go.
So in very short order, that happens. Ash, you kind of steer the bike in into this small kind of personnel loading bay. It's not really big enough for anything larger than the bike, but the bike fits pretty well in this little hallway here as you land it, and Dee Dee sends it through its reset cycle that she tricked the computer into just a test flush and refill, having it be just a background process that the system has going on, and the airlock refills with regular atmosphere, and the door slides open.
All right. Let's get this done. She'll put a hand on Dee Dee's shoulder and say, "Cloak engaged," and they'll both go invisible.
For sure. Is that a?
As I cast
upcast?
invisibility at third level with one of my packed spell slots.
Hell yeah. You and Dee Dee vanish from sight as you start going through this airlock. You see a very industrial-looking complex. It's a just metal grate hallways with some like bowed out kind of tunnel parts that had been used for a spaceship but were just repurposed for this base that kind of have the hallway going to the left and the right. Right seems to lead down into the complex, and left going up to the control room with a pretty handy little sign right in front of you that kind of marks where things are on the ship. It says that left obviously is the command outpost and patrol, then the signs heading to your right say like crew quarters, power systems, and galley.
Okay.
So which way y'all headed?
What was the left one again? Sorry.
The left one is command. So that is where the like actual functions of the station happen. And then to the right is the power systems and the crew stuff. So like the galley, the infirmary, the barracks, that kind of stuff.
Are there any little like maintenance consoles or whatever little console stations on the walls nearby?
Yeah, there's one right to your left whenever you exit the airlock. That seems it's just where you would do your like where you'd cycle the airlock, but it also has access to the rest of the maintenance stuff. It's all part of the same system.
I want to just see, like, not like a life scan reading to tell me exactly where everybody is, but like, what does their schedule say they're doing? Are they in the galley right now? Are they on light shift right now? Are they sleeping right now? Like, I want to see where they are.
Yeah, pretty quick. Like, no roll necessary because it is an alert just kind of on the main system menu that it is currently in standby mode, all hands on deck, as a incoming ship is going to need to be caught by the net, is what the alert says. So you imagine that most everyone is probably in the command center right now getting ready to intercept the Soleil.
Dee Dee kind of thought about it for a moment. She was like, so the easiest way to do this, I mean, we could just go in there and fight, true, but if I trick the computer, DM allowing, if I trick the computer into thinking there's an emergency and that lock or the door to command gets locked, we could vent the anti-fire system in there and knock them out.
Ah, yes, an imposter sabotaging the oxygen. I like it.
And then once they're out, we simply go in, restore the air, and do what we need to do, and we can go.
You tell me what you need me to do, and I'll be right behind you.
Both of you give me a stealth check real quick with advantage because you're invisible.
Yeah. Ouch. Better.
Okay, what's my stuff? I only rolled a 13.
I also only rolled a 13.
Okay.
Dee Dee, don't you have something for halfling for being, or flash of inspiration, something like that?
Flash of genius?
You do have flash.
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
I do.
So yeah, you could increase one of you up to
Then
17 if you wanted to.
I was gonna say that only works on one of us, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, but it still brings an average up from 13 to...
You know, it's at
what's-
it's at reaction speed, and we're not in initiative right now. So I'll say if you want to, you can use 2 charges because reaction speed, I imagine, are something you're able to do very quick.
Okay, yeah. Bless, thank you. We'll do that.
Okay, so 2 uses of flash of inspiration. You both cut off during this conversation very quickly as you hear boots running, and they're coming from the crew section, and you all go quiet and lean against the wall as a marshal that doesn't have his like official coat on, like that long duster, is just wearing kind of like a white tank top, but the same kind of dark gray trousers and boots with a pistol on his hip, is running through the corridor up to the command center. You see him get up to the top of the landing, passing by you two without noticing anything, put his hand on a kind of pad there, and the door slides open and he walks in and it slides back. Give me a perception check as this happens.
Okay,
I rolled a 6.
14.
Okay, with a 14, Ash, you can count at least 4 other people in that room that he just entered. So you're able to count about 5 people in that room now.
With
you're not
the
sure if that's
slightest,
everything, though. That's just from your angle, what you saw.
with the slightest hint of a whisper, she's going to hear 5.
Dee Dee, you start looking through the systems to see if that fire suppression thing would work. Give me, let's do the same. Let's do Thieves' Tool. So intelligence plus proficiency.
Okay. That's a 13.
Okay, you have another use of, you've got 2 more uses of Flash of Genius if you want to give yourself a +4 to it.
Sure, let's make it 17 then.
All right, 17. You tap through the system. This would be possible. Yes, there is a fire suppression system in the base. It doesn't have like ways to vent different rooms or anything. It like all of them are sealed pretty tight. It doesn't like built in like be able to depressurize any individual room. But there are CO2 fire suppression systems that will flood a room with CO2.
I think that would put both of us at risk, though, then, wouldn't it? Because Ash is fire, and I wouldn't be able to breathe. I'd get knocked out, too.
Yeah, I mean, you could, leave them in there long enough to start, passing out and stuff, and then you could just turn it off and open it back up, but you're kind of burning a lot of time by doing that. Like, if you're wanting to fill it with CO2 and then vent it to get oxygen back enough for you two to be okay, you only have about 10 minutes left right now, so you'd be hitting it pretty close to the clock if you were wanting to go through that process.
Can you make it explode somewhere else?
I mean, I still don't think that would lure everybody off the command system. They would leave somebody in there, if not more than one.
There is always Fireball.
Well, no.
That also runs the risk of damaging some of the equipment that Dee Dee would need to be able to...
I know.
Just saying.
I mean, What would it be for me to run in there if it wasn't like 100% safe for both of us, but just for Dee Dee to run in and do some quick stuff?
I mean, you can hold your breath for... You got a +1 to con. You could hold your breath for like 2 minutes.
Okay.
If you really needed to.
We're gonna go with that plan, but to not eat up so much time so we can get back safely. If we're going like percentages, when 100% safe would take the whole time, we're only gonna have Dee Dee running in when it's like 50% safe.
Gotcha. All right. Make another check with your Thieves' Tools to activate this without throwing any alarms and to lock down the bridge so they can't leave.
19.
19, not bad. You are able to lock the door. None of them are coming out immediately, so that goes unnoticed for the moment as you start activating the fire suppressant system. There is a brief moment where the alert activates before you can catch it and shut it off, that it is starting to happen. But it's a very brief one. You're not sure if it showed up on any other console or just yours. But the room, you watch on the panel as it starts to show like the amount of oxygen being replaced by CO2 in the room, and very quickly it vents out all the oxygen. It is a suppressant system, so it is meant to activate very quickly, and then hold that CO2 in there to prevent it from reigniting. As it finishes venting in that, though, you hear on the command deck someone banging on the door and clearly like trying to force it open. As they are starting to run out of air. And Ash, you see as someone leaves where the barracks is and starts running up the hallway towards the command bridge, apparently having received some call from someone that they are locked in the room and something is happening.
Dee Dee, you are going to have to make it fast. I'm about to murder this bitch. Ash is going to take his fire whip, which he has not used since, and is about to repeat the similar action, waiting and lying behind cover for this person to come within range and snatch them up.
Yeah, you can, just before where Dee Dee is at the console, still like tapping away, you kind of get in the corner of the door for the airlock and just kind of wait and get into position. And this marshal wearing his full uniform starts running up, like holding his hat on his head as he sprints up the hallway and starts to pass you.
Yeah, I'll take my whip, quickly come out from behind cover, behind him, and just like with that sweet baby dinosaur, put this man to sleep. Permanently.
Sure, so you're wanting to effectively chokehold, like grapple him?
Yes. Strangle him to death with my fire whip.
Alright, this will be an opposed check. I'll say you have the surprise attack, so I'll let you roll with advantage since you were invisible going into this.
Oh, ooh. Actually, can I, before this happens, actually have drank the potion?
Sure, I'm fine with that.
Of strength?
Yeah, you can do that.
What does that do exactly?
You drink it, and your body, initially it hurts. Like you drink it, and you feel like where your mouth is, like effectively, like once it passes through where your disguised self is, you feel part of your source kind of extinguish as it gets wet. But very quickly you vaporize it, and soft like curls of steam start rising off your head. But as your body burns off the water from this, the magical essence and the components of what actually make the spellcraft work are left behind. And as those kind of enter where your core is, you feel the like center of your chest like get hotter, like a fire stoking, and like physically your body, even behind your disguised self, gets brawnier as your fire surges, and you can't suppress your form enough to not reflect that surge of strength.
I'm a hot demon secretary now.
You are.
Now.
A hot demon secretary mommy.
Does that change my strength while it's active?
It does. Hank, do you have what I noted for that diluted?
I believe it was like a +2 to strengths. It wasn't like super massive, just
Okay.
Yeah, it was like a watered down +5, so that sounds about right. But he rolled a 6, so you're just trying to beat a 10, and you have advantage.
Okay, so +5 to the attribute, or +5 to like checks?
+2 to the attribute strength.
Okay, gotcha. So then I would have a +1 to this roll then. Not great, but you know that is a natty 19, and can we go for the crit? Ooh, 2 19s for a total of 21.
Hell yeah. Dee Dee, you look over and you see this guy running towards you. You and Ash are still invisible, but as this guy is running, you see he just stops, like his momentum carrying his legs forward as his neck kind of strains and holds in space. And dissolving out of the invisibility is a ripped-looking demon secretary who has this guy by the whip kind of garroted around his throat as he's like struggling and kicking and trying to fit his fingers into where the whip is. But every time he does it, singes. You see like his skin starts to smoke around where he's trying to pull at this and where it's wrapped so tightly around his neck. You go back to the console very quickly and keep working, trying to make sure that is fully vented in and waiting until you see that there are no more active heat signatures in the room, which you know identify alive bodies right now only. I'm going to say this is one more round of this contested grapple to keep this guy in this whip, Ash.
Okay. Do I still have advantage or nah?
It's not surprise anymore, so I'm going to say no. You have to beat a 12.
Lamau, we will use, because this is technically an attack, favored by the gods, which lets me roll an additional 2d4 to add it to this.
So you're at 9 right now?
I am at a 9 right now. For +4, 13.
Meets it, beats it. Oh wait, that works in his favor though, doesn't it?
It does for being a grapple.
Dee Dee, you have one more. Okay, I was about to say she has one more flash of genius.
You really having trouble taking this guy down?
Listen, I only have a +2 to strength in this moment, so what do you want from me?
I was really hoping I could bank one of these just in case we need it trying to hack the computer.
Well, that's why I'm using my inspiration for a natural 15. Get on, loser.
Oh yeah, that'll do it. He kicks and struggles, his face turning blue.
This guy in the stomach?
No, you're busy. It's fine. As he kicks and struggles, you just tighten the whip further and further, like his neck scrunching in tighter until it's like just a third the size that it should be, as his fingers are almost singed black from trying to hold on to this whip. And with a final exhale, he goes limp.
Ah, yes, sleep. Become another voice in my tale. Another story to write to home.
Dee Dee, all heat signatures are extinguished on the bridge.
I feel like I should mention I'm going to try to hide this body.
Sure, where are you hiding it?
Great question. Is there a random, like, garbage can or disposal I can stuff him in?
Not immediately
at
at
the
airlock. Not immediately. You are at the airlock door still, but not immediately beside the airlock.
Can I like throw him into space and just like throw him outside?
So the airlock is currently pressurized, but you can hide him within the door of the airlock, which you can reopen.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Okay.
Basically, once it reopens and we leave, I'm just gonna kind of drag him a little bit so he's not like someone doesn't immediately spot him.
All right.
While Ash is doing that, I'm gonna cut the CO2 and wait just long enough.
Yeah, you
before,
cut the fire suppression system. It starts to refill with oxygen, but it's just refilling under regular atmospheric pressure. It's not trying to like pump in oxygen or anything. It's just venting out CO2. And as it does that, you try to wait. Back on the Soleil, you all are getting very, very close to this asteroid at this point. They are about 7 minutes into this op when you were about 15 minutes away. So you are almost at the point where you have to turn, or the net's going to get you. The capital ship is right on you. Still out of fire range for now, but it has, since Alwyn did not push the engines, if you turn, it's probably going to be able to get a shot off on you. What's the plan?
All right. This is what I'm thinking. I'm gonna go ahead, hit the brakes hard. I need everybody bolted in, and I want to do a topsy-turvy to line our shot back up on that capital ship behind us with the big gun.
Sure. Are you going to be towing the Broderick ship while you try this maneuver?
No, we cannot tow them anymore. This is a make or break it.
All right. So the captain's going to order them to continue on course towards the asteroid, and just if they can stop before they pass it. But if they have to, hope that DD's gotten the computer done in time. So you all detach cables, the momentum of the Soleil carrying the Broderick ship forward as you start to turn to get into an attack position. Go ahead and give me your tool check with your vehicles.
All right. Do I get any pluses because I'm just jonesing out of my mind right now?
Yeah, I think haste gives you some bonuses to that, doesn't it?
Advantage on dexterity saving throws.
Yeah, we've been calling this
So
a
if you
dex
wanna-
check. Oh no, it's a saving
Yeah.
throw. It's not a saving throw, so it's a tool proficiency check.
Damn.
But he does get 2 actions, so you might say that his hands are quicker, making his dexterity more useful in this situation.
I'm gonna say, since you got a 1
was-
on the wisdom save and you're feeling good, that I'll let you have advantage on the dex, even though it's not a saving throw.
All right. First is a 15. Second is a 9. So we're gonna take the 15 plus. What was it? 6.
Yeah.
So it'll be 21.
21. Absolutely. The captain is beside you. You all are discussing this maneuver and everything, and she like kind of sighs and ticks a bit, still like just eyeing the sending stone occasionally, waiting for word from Ash that the system is switched off. And she says, "All right, fuck it, we got a jet. Let's cut them." And she gives the call down to the hangar. The Broderick brothers are on their ship, and as you start to tilt up and kick your engines into their full burn, the lines are cut, kind of slingshotting the Broderick ship forward at its still faster than possible pace for it currently. And the Soleil does a depth 1/4 turn, turning 180 degrees as it arcs back over and starts to try to line up a shot. So what's the plan of attack here, Alwyn?
Well, I'm figuring that big old fucking capital ship is just trying to get right in on us, right?
Yes, it is been full burn trying to go for you, so it has outpaced its Marshal ships by now.
Yeah, I want that crimson shot loaded in our nose. So as we're coming back around,
It's golden.
oh, it's golden. I'm sorry. So when there's that golden shots, I'm picturing it. We're making that somersault fallback, you know.
Yeah.
And I want a shot lined up so we can fire it right up her damn nose.
Yeah, the captain will go to those controls and start loading up the shot. Aster, what were you saying?
I was just saying it was an ambush shot, not crimson.
Okay. So the captain goes over to the console that had been kind of tacked onto the bridge for the controls for this railgun, and starts going through the loading sequences. You watch as the very front of the Soleil, the hollow kind of opening of where this arcane rail cannon is starts to fill up with a cloud of golden spores that kind of just fill an antechamber, and then they go under some pressurization and get condensed more and more and more until they're just the size of a marble. This gallon's worth of these spores getting solidified into a single source of arcane energy, and the lights on the railgun start to activate with its arcane sigils, getting ready to launch it. And the captain goes, "All right, I think we're good. Give me a clean shot, and we'll take it."
All right. Yeah. So we're coming around. Alwyn's just watching for the. I'm picturing like in a lot of your fighter or your shot lineups for computering. There's like an arc.
It's Darth Vader in the trench.
Yeah. Yeah. Essentially. Stay on target.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so yeah, we're going to be falling back with that, and then he's as we get closer, he's going to go ahead and work to pull the engines down, and then kind of do a reverse thruster to balance us out, to steady the shot.
Sure. You all, as you approaching it closer, you're still slamming the throttle, trying to get that last bit of space to be able to duck out quickly enough before the marshals are arriving to support. The capital ship has a lot of very big guns on it. They were already trained on you, so the Soleil is going to be under active fire as you make this final approach with this railgun. Give me another vehicle handling check to see how you can do dodging this fire.
Oh, God. All right, we can do this. Deep breaths. Cowboy hat on. All right, so that's a 17, and then that's with the 6. And then for the advantage, fucking nat 20, let's go. Fuck yeah, let's do it. Fucking 26. Fucking nat 20, let's do it. Blow this fucker up.
That's going to give the captain advantage on her shot with this cannon. As you slam forward, your entire focus and attention, you are a part of this ship. Like, you are at the helm in the center of this command bay, and everything just feels a part of you as you are using your 2 thrusters to spin the ship from side to side, going in a loop-de-loop arc around some fire as these heavy cannons are firing, exploding off behind you, but you're too far ahead of them and too quick for any of their explosions to throw off your aim. You line up a straight center shot, you throw the reverse on and even out the ship, moving some of the directional thrusters to keep you on a steady angle. The captain smiles really big and goes, "Fucking gotcha," and fires. That's a 19 for her first roll and an 18 for her second one. With a 28, the captain lines up the shot and fires center of mass with the golden spore shot. The rail cannon, all of the sigils light up a brighter blue until they start to go off one by one in a really quick succession, and this marble of a golden spore ball shoots out into space. There's a moment of silence as these cannons are still firing around you. Just these lights of these bright yellow energy kind of lighting the bridge around you and the captain as you both watch the little marble moving through space, impossibly too fast to see. But when a crater appears in the center of the ship where just the mass of the spores cause a dent in the armor, it pierces through the center of the ship. There is a breath of a delay as all of its cannon fire stops, and it is engulfed in a massive explosion. The entire ship breaking apart in an instant, shattering into a million pieces and spreading out through space as the captain goes, "Woohoo!" And you slam the engines back on, throwing you into that reverse thrust and turning in the 360 degree of space, and you all start shooting back towards the asteroid, where we will cut back to Ash and Dee Dee. Dee Dee, you take a deep breath and hit the command console to open the door and run in to the command bridge where there are 6 bodies lying on the ground, unconscious or dead, and you run up to one of the control panels and start punching in everything you need to try to redirect the fire. Go ahead and give me your Thieves' Tool roll.
Hey. Oh, Chihuahua. That is a nat 20!
Let's
my
fucking go! We got 3 nat 20 today,
one.
baby!
It rolled up the little ledge of my keyboard and back down and landed on 20. Oh my god.
Alwyn and Dee Dee both gain a point of inspiration. As Dee Dee, you all work like a well-oiled machine. You know exactly what you're looking for in this system, and very quickly you get the network online, and within an instant, you start getting all the relays working and everything. You tap into the underlying network of this entire system, which isn't set up well. It's works, and you know how it works now. These satellites would have sapped the energy, effectively putting an anti-magic field around your engines for a moment to kill them, and would have to restart them. You redirect all of that, taking over the entire network of all of these satellites as you connect in a back door that they hadn't even considered you could go through, a sub-command line that you know about from your time as a wrecker so long, and this is always built into these systems. You smile to yourself as you do a couple key taps and everything is under your control. You change the parameters. Every single one of these Marshal ships are marked with a tag to be able to pass in and out of these without interference. It makes them easy fucking targets for you. You turn the switch to mark them all as enemies and run out of the room. You and Ash meet back up, get on the bike, and as you do, Ash, you can give the word over the sending stone back to the captain that you all are ready for a pickup. The Soleil is already on its way back towards the asteroid at full speed, catching back up to the Broderick ship, which is just about to the asteroid as you all tear out, meeting up with the Soleil in its hangar as the Broderick ship hits their engines for all they're worth, the Soleil passing through it. The 6 Marshal ships in hot pursuit of you all cross over the very start of that boundary, and 6 satellites around them all activate at the same time, every single Marshal ship going dead in the water as the Soleil and the Broderick ship leave the Larkus system.
Woohoo!
Yeah, let's go.
Oh.
Never punished.
Never punished.
Kitty's gonna run out of the room and pull her little handkerchief down off her nose and mouth and be like, "That's it, Ash. Let's fucking go."
All right. She'll just leave the body that she was dragging it to the airlock. Just give him a little kick. You were fun while you lasted. And then just fucking speed them away again like a comet back to the Soleil, taking the sending stone and giving a message to Captain Crow. All clear, all green. Objective complete. We are clear to leave.
Yeah, you meet back up on the Soleil as you all are now acting as active bait for all those Marshals who quickly get caught in the trap that Dee Dee has left for them. Dee Dee, I think as a parting thing for that Nat 20, you leave a little emoji gif of yourself that you program into the system where if they try to change the parameters of what you did, it's just you flipping them off and dancing back and forth.
Can it do like the Jurassic Park thing
Nah,
too, where it's like, you didn't say the magic words.
Yeah, it's just you flipping them off and doing that anytime they try to change the subroutine you activated. So right now, all of the Marshals are trapped within their own system as you have turned that entire network into a trap for them.
Get owned, losers.
You all get back to the Soleil as you start to put distance between yourself and the Larkus system. The Marshals are incapable of chasing you right now, and probably won't be for the better part of a week if Dee Dee knows what she was doing, and she does. So, everyone meets back up aboard the Soleil, and as you all are taking off, the captain comes over to you, Allowan, and punches you in the arm and says, "You're fucking good at this. You know that, right?"
Yeah. I didn't earn that pistol for nothing, but yeah, good shot. You know, that was 1 in a million. You know.
Oof. And Dee Dee, get up here! She calls over the intercom.
We got that recording, right? we got the recording of that thing blowing up, right?
She nods. Oh yeah, we were absolutely feeling it. As you run in, Dee Dee, the captain comes over and grabs your face in both hands, like, "You beautiful bitch!"
Where'd I go?
You know exactly what you did. I love this fucking crew.
No, yeah.
Good, right?
Yeah. Look at this, Dee Dee. Allowan's gonna pull up on the main monitor and the replay of what happened.
Face talking. Odyssey.
She lets go of your face and lets you go look at it. Ash, you're with her, so you and Aster and Hank all join up on the bridge together as you all start making distance between yourself and that system to watch the footage on repeat of the massive dent appearing in the center of the ship, followed shortly after by a explosion that completely encompasses and shatters it into a million pieces.
Dee Dee's eyes widen and she goes, I have got to spend more time looking at that railgun.
The captain
It's a
nods
shame he's
appreciatively.
probably dead.
So far, it's been incredibly effective.
Oh, yeah, that's a little scary, honestly. I mean, for a little package like that, I mean, yeah, that was a lot.
Dee Dee grinned. Haven't you learned by watching me? Big things come in small packages.
You know, I'm just gonna let you have it.
Yeah, you all spend the better part of an hour just kind of chatting back and forth up on the bridge as adrenaline still isn't worn off yet. So you all are just kind of excited and chatting and everything for a bit before the captain says, "Shit, all right. Long fucking day, but good work, everyone. Shit. Whoever needs to can go off shift. Get rested up. Tomorrow we're gonna start fixing up this fucking ship, right?"
Absolutely. We're like safe out of the system now, right?
Oh yeah.
Nice.
You are. Yeah, you've got about 2 hours of distance and a 2-week lead before they're even able to leave the system. So you are safely out of the system now.
Fuck yeah, let's go.
Considering we just took out their leader, they're gonna be in disarray anyways.
Yeah, that whole system is about to have not a great time, I feel like.
It's a win-win.
Anytime you create a power vacuum, it only goes one of two ways. It's either really good or really bad. We'll see. Good luck.
Should we pass on the message to the Broderick brothers that
Yeah, should we check in
everything's
with
good?
them?
They were watching, so whenever you open the comm, they're both cheering and laughing. You blew that son of a bitch up! I know you could do it!
Ash is gonna stop by next to Hank and give him a little pat on the shoulder and say, "That potion actually did something, and it didn't drive me insane."
I mean, the one thing I'm particularly good at.
I got to take another life with my whip. And for that, you have my thanks.
Better their lives than ours.
Yes, much better theirs than ours.
Anything you want me to specifically make if I can get my hand on ingredients next time?
Not sure. I'll have to look into it. But things that augment our crew members in general will find their place. I did not think I would find a use for that potion, and yet I did. Our crew is ingenuitous like that.
Sure is eclectic, but wouldn't trade it for the world.
Dimitri, Frog, I have some new names to test out. I require your criticism. What do you think of the name like and subscribe?
Oh my god.
Alowin's gonna go through a procedure of cooling the engines off, because you don't just necessarily go cold with those now. You got to cycle them back.
Yeah, absolutely. You start cycling them back, like, oh god, it felt good to go that fast though. Like you're even now, you're like, I could have taken on all of them. Like you have a a very full ego with the gum still kind of roaring through your veins.
Yeah, he's doing like the leg tap right now, where it's just kind of, tapping in place while he's working and looking up, perhaps a little jittery.
Absolutely.
Do I know the jittery?
Give me a medicine check.
No, yes, let me get my nat one out of the way real quick. Okay, it's a 17.
17. Alwyn does look pretty jittery right now, but he did just fly like nose first at a capital ship that was actively firing at him, so I don't know if you'd read that
No,
as
it's
he's on
probably
drugs
just
right now.
I'll find out later. No need to worry.
Yeah, fucking did a nose flip at this fucking capital ship while being fired at to line up a shot.
Phenomenal fucking shot and driving. Piloting? There's a word somewhere in there.
There were several.
All right. Whoever wants to can now go off shift and take a long rest for the first time in what feels like 6 sessions.
I'm fucking going into a coma.
You all have been fucking busy, so I don't remember the last time you got a long
2
rest
days.
in, actually.
It's been a good 4 or 5 sessions.
Because we went straight from the fucking jailbreak into the second session of jailbreak to 2 sessions of the fucking PAX. And then just this session, I think.
Yeah.
You know what, guys?
It was such a good session.
We did so well, though.
I really like you all flying away and taking this long rest as the end point for the session. But that was so fucking cool. I'm going to let everyone level up to level 8.
Wow.
So that's what we will do for the remainder of this session here, is go through level up.